Hi folks, Mike Schramke with Larry Stovesand Equipment, America's largest selling Kioti dealer. I'd like to do a product demonstration, an in-depth dive on Kioti's Cx2510. 25 horsepower tractor available in an open station or a cab model. Capable machine, affordable machine. It fits the bill for a lot of folks. Let's take a look at the Cx2510. When it comes to compact tractors, the Cx2510 is the real deal. It's designed to, as I tell people, to be in that sweet spot, that Goldilocks spot between capability and mobility. And what I mean by that is a tractor that's capable of doing real work, ground engaging work, real loader work, yet be very mobile, easily maneuverable around your property. And more importantly, it weighs a reasonable amount and it's easy to tow by any truck or SUV. Any 7,000 pound trailer will easily tow either model of Cx2510 and whatever implements you plan on operating it with. The open station weighs just under 3,000 pounds, 2,970 pounds. Think about that, a ton and a half. And the cab adds 500 pounds to that, so 3,500 pounds, 3,470 to be exact. That gets it in the perfect spot for being able to do loader work and be stable at it and to be tough enough to ground engage. As you look around the Cx2510, you'll notice the amount of steel and iron that went into it. The axles are iron. The engine, which is a Kioti built engine, as all Kiotis are, the engine is iron. The framing, there's the rear axle. This tractor is heavy. Even the fuel tank and the fenders are made out of steel. A tractor that will be doing loader work needs to weigh enough to be stable and to give a good capacity, a good ability to do loader work. As I said, 3,000 pounds and 3,500 pounds allow this tractor to have a capability in the bucket of over 1,000 pounds. And it'll do it to a height of 7 feet. Impressive for a compact tractor. Almost 1,100 pounds in the loader is a good sign of its capability. And on the other end of the tractor, the rear of the tractor, the Cx2510 will operate any 5-foot implement and most 6-foot implements. Most folks that buy this tractor will mow, whether they use a rotary cutter, a rear mounted finishing mower, a Kioti mounted mid-mount mower, or a flail mower. Most folks will mow with the Cx2510 and it does a great job. I would guess the next most used implement would be a box scraper. Everybody needs something to dress their driveway, to fill in the potholes, to level some land, to cut out a patch that you'll eventually till for a garden or a food plot. And the Cx2510, as I said, is very capable of ground engaging. And if you notice, the box scrapers have those big tines on them. It'll pull them. It'll do a 5-foot or a 6-foot box scraper. And the implement that everybody wants, a rotary tiller. Using a tractor-driven rotary tiller is a joyous thing. Think of the difference the first time you used a walk-behind motorized tiller. Before that, you had used a spade to turn the garden every year. How wonderful it was to use that walk-behind motorized tiller. Well, the same kind of excitement, the same kind of joy you'll appreciate the way a rear-driven tiller works. We all know how fun it is to use a manual post hole digger. If you're putting in a fence row, it would make a lot of sense to get a 3-point PTO-driven post hole digger. 6-inch, 9-inch, 12-inch, any of them will work easily with the Kioti Cx2510. The model KL2510 front end loader comes standard with a skid steer type mounting system. a universal 2-lever system that allows you to drop the bucket off by pulling those 2 levers and installing any number of front implements, pallet forks, or if you want to go all in, a grapple that is operated by a 3rd function valve. Grapples are very popular. There's nothing nicer than picking up brush and throwing it in a burn pile and never getting off the tractor. Both models of CX2510, whether it be an open station or a cab, are available with Kioti subframe mounted KB2465 backhoe. This is a gem of a capable, strong backhoe. It'll dig down to 6.5 feet, and the pressure exerted on the bucket is 2,900 pounds. It's like putting a 2,900 pound fat woman's foot on a shovel. It digs. A quick word about maintenance. The routine maintenance that needs to be done, or the checkpoints, the dipsticks, things like that, everything that you need quick access to, such as that, is easily identifiable, painted in red. The front axle oil fill, the motor oil fill, motor oil dipstick, even the oil plugs underneath the oil pan. Notice there's 2 of them because the front drive shaft goes through the contoured oil pan. Everything's easy to get to. A lot of cast iron down there. A grill guard and high intensity headlamps are standard on both. The open station comes with a choice of a manual transmission or hydrostat. The cab is standard with a hydrostat. In either case, whether it's standard on the cab or optional on the open station, if you get a hydrostat, cruise control is included. Looking at the deck, and it's easier to do this on the open station, you'll notice we have the hydraulic oil filter that couldn't be any easier to access. The speed of descent for the 3-point arms right there. The foot-operated rear traction lock, the dipstick for the hydraulic system, and the 4-wheel drive engagement. Everything's very easy to get to. Looking at the cab, let me show you some of the differences. I'll go over the extra stuff that you get standard on a cab, but in a lot of cases, if you're considering an open station, but you like a particular item, it very well could be available as an option on the open station. Of course, excluding air conditioning and heat. The lighting, high intensity discharge spot lamps in the back and the front, side marker lamps, high intensity headlamps, look good on the open station too. The fully opening rear window is standard with a washer and a wiper and defroster. That is almost always optional on other tractors. This lever, which is standard on the cab, not available on the open station, will allow you to raise and lower the 3-point arms from the back of the tractor when you're trying to hook up a 3-point implement. It is a time saver and a frustration saver. The last thing you'd want to do is, if you have to move up a 1/2 inch on the 3-point arms, is to walk around the tractor, open the door, and try to do it from the side. Very convenient. Worth another look. All right, a lot of the stuff on the back end of the tractor is standard on the cab, but available as an option on the open station. For example, telescopic lower link ends and stabilizers, standard equipment on the cab and optional on the open station. A lot of people like that. The lever, as I said, is not. It's standard on the cab. It has a set of rear hydraulic remotes, standard, and of course that is an option on the open station. It's worth noting the diesel fuel filter is right there, and it's in a clear glass bowl. It couldn't be any easier to maintain. On the inside, the climate control is right above your head, as is the sound system, and it's a Bluetooth, so you can pair your phone. The air conditioning and heat while the operation, as you could tell, is very simple, it has what it needs to have. You could turn the air to be directed at your face, or defrosting the windshield, or a little of both. You can also shut off the outside air, make it recirculate on the inside, just like you can on your car or truck. And that's really important if you're working in a dusty environment, cutting grass or pollen or whatever. It keeps the nastiness out of your lungs and the inside of the tractor. These little gems are part of the cabin air filtration system. Those unscrew, those side screws unscrew with your thumb. You can pull them out, tap them and clean them, blow some air through them, and eventually replace them. But the nasty air will not reach the inside of the tractor. It's a fabulous thing that if I didn't point it out, most people wouldn't notice. The doors on the CX2510 cab are mounted all the way at the back B-pillar, all the way at the back corner of the cab. The entire side of the cab opens. Even a chubby fella like myself can find easy entrance and egress in the CX2510 cab. Ergonomically laid out, the controls are an easy reach, right where they should be. If your arms are on the armrests, you can reach the levers, the knobs, the buttons. Everything is right there. The loader control is right at the fender, and with your arm on the armrest, it's right at your fingertips. There's always more I could talk about with the CX2510, but I have to stop somewhere. But there's a couple more things I wanted to add. I've held your attention this long, hopefully, and I appreciate that. The warranty on the Kioti CX2510, open station or cab, is a total of 6 years with no deductible and no limitation on hours. For the first 2 years, it's bumper to bumper. Well, it has a front bumper anyway. And bumper to bumper with no deductible and no limit on hours. So if a headlight burns out or the horn doesn't blow, it's covered. And after that, there's an additional 4 years on the engine and powertrain. So engine, transmission, drive shafts, and axles. So catastrophic illness, if you will. And so the tractor is covered for a total of 6 years. Another thing I wanted to bring up is the price of maintenance parts, consumables, is what they're called, on the CX2510 and Kiotis in general. How much will stuff cost after you're an owner? And I think just a trip to the, not to pick on them, but the green dealer would really stun you on some of the prices of the consumables. I grabbed a couple at random and looked them up. The motor oil filter on a CX2510 is $10.42. And the fuel filter, that cool thing I showed you inside the glass bowl, is $9.50. Those two items are under 22 bucks. And that is typical of Kioti prices on after the sale maintenance items. And I think that's cool. I respect Kioti for holding those kind of prices. And lastly is my commitment to you as a Kioti dealer. I'm proud of the fact that we sell more Kiotis than anybody in the world. And I'm also proud of our customer satisfaction index. And whichever index we look at, and we monitor all of them. Facebook reviews, Google reviews. Check out the Google reviews. Got hundreds of them and a running total of 4.8 out of 5. So there's 2 or 3 people that we disappointed, but there's thousands that we didn't. I make it my absolute mission to not have any dissatisfied customers. These things aren't cheap. Nothing we sell is cheap. Nothing anybody sells is cheap. And I want you to get your money's worth. And I want you to know that when you give me your money, I remember where it came from. And every customer after the sale gets my cell phone number. And if any of my employees can't handle to your satisfaction an issue, a problem, a question, you want to jump to the front of the line, I'm here. And that's it. The Kioti Cx2510. Fabulous machine. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.